Yeah, we had a project that we were in our due diligence phase. We had it under contract, put a deposit down on it,
Yeah.
and we started doing our investigations into soil, into the ground conditions, and the testing came back that there was groundwater contamination. Something that, you would have never guessed, just looking at the site. But as you go through this process, that's always a risk. So what is the plan B? Well, we kind of ran the scenarios. Do we take it through and remediation? It was going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was going to take 2 to 3 years just to get a risk assessment and to get the ministry's sign off on it. And we decided, this is probably not worth the time and effort. And we ended up pulling back from that project.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Everyone, and welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. My name is Olivia, and I'm here joined with Samuel Herschorn today, representing BIOSIS Real Estate. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to speak with us, Samuel.
Thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure.
I think our listeners are really going to take a lot away from what you've been approaching in the real estate world. And can you share with them a little bit about your company, BIOSIS, and where you're located?
Sure. So I'm located in Toronto, Canada, a little town called Guelph, which is about an hour and a half southwest of the major city. So my background, I'm a licensed architect. I've been designing and building real estate developments for clients and for the past 13 plus years. Got to a point where I was very frustrated dealing with my developer clients. They refused to take a lot of my advice. Oftentimes they were obsessed with cutting corners, designing shoe boxes that, for me at least, did not align with the long-term trends I was seeing in terms of rentability and just sustainable design and construction. So I decided, you know what, I'm doing 90% of the work for my clients. Why don't I just learn the other 10%, business side of things? So I hired a development coach, an experienced developer based in Ottawa, but doing most of his work in the United States. I joined my business partner, and we did that for about 2 years, learned how to underwrite, learned how to evaluate sites, learned about the pitfalls on the business side of design and development. And then in 2022, we formed BIOSIS Real Estate Development, our development company. Now, the thesis I had when starting this company is that it would be a vertically integrated structure. Because of my background in architecture and design, I wanted to be able to have more control over the upfront side, which was finding the deals, putting the land together, raising the capital, and then have my architecture firm take the lead on design, managing consultants, and overseeing the construction.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So that's when I added our second company, which is BIOSIS Designs, and that's my architecture firm, to fulfill that model. And what it allows us to do is have a greater degree of accuracy when we do evaluate a site. So typically, a developer will do a back and napkin analysis, quick math to see, does a project work? So we do that as well. And then we try and quickly kill these projects so we don't spend any more time. But the ones that pass that first hurdle, for a typical developer, that's when they start hiring their architects, their planners, their civil engineers, just to go through that concept design work to see if you can actually get this project off the ground. And that process costs thousands and thousands of dollars that you're usually out of pocket if you hit like a red flag or a roadblock. Well, we do that all in-house. So my architecture firm will do the zoning bylaw review on like building code review. We will model the site. We will model the step backs, the regulations, and what we can actually build, do our highest and best use analysis, all without, paying a cent. It's really just our time that we kind of build into our end cost once the project is actually off the ground. Which is a big advantage, right? We're able to validate a project early on. We then take the actual square footages from our model, plug it into our spreadsheet, our pro forma spreadsheet, to get a much higher degree of certainty that the project is going to be profitable before we even put an offer on the table. And we've gotten very good at doing this upfront analysis. It's allowed us to really focus on projects that we think are winners.
We love it. And would you mind sharing a little bit more about how your business is really focused on helping the current housing crisis?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Canada has undergone a pretty dramatic economic shift, as has the United States. Run up of inflation stems mainly from the pandemic, has caused housing to become very expensive, right? You're seeing, single family homes being sold for 600, 800, a million, where these equivalent homes, 15, 20 years ago would probably be about half of that. And it's putting a huge stressor on our economy, on families, their ability to afford, daily needs in life. And on the flip side, the solution is actually to build more housing and create more supply. But we've been going through the opposite effect where over government regulation, contracting economic output, and just a very difficult time in securing financing has caused developers to shelve projects. The interest rate hike has basically put a stop on any kind of development in Canada that wasn't, already in the ground. So the big question becomes, well, who's actually going to be stepping in and filling the gaps in the supply? So that's where we are kind of positioning ourselves. We don't like to do the smaller developments, so your duplex, triplex, fourplexes. Although that's how we got started, we want to take advantage of economies of scale, larger unit counts, so we can get professional property management in play. Have less effects on have vacancy be less of an effect on the building when we do our lease up. So we tend to target between 50 to 100, 120 unit size developments.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Anything larger than that, you're getting into the big developer territory, higher upfront capital, longer timelines for approvals. Investors get their money locked up for longer periods. When we were getting started, really the most value for time and for money we found was in those low to mid rise projects. 50 to 100 units that we could get approved into the ground and built, and our investor money back in 2 to 3 years. Yeah, it's a challenge, but that's what real estate development is, problem solving. And our experience is really figuring out what is the problem, how do we define it, and then how do we address that problem. After decades of working in the industry, we've gotten very good at figuring that out and executing, which is the biggest thing in development. A lot can go wrong. You have to be able to keep a level head. You have to know who to contact to figure out if you've got a water issue, a pipe that you didn't see on the initial plans that didn't show up on city records, well, how do you adapt? How do you solve that problem in real time with a ticking clock and with a budget and a contingency that gets eaten into, right?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Do you have any specific examples of maybe a deal that went sideways recently, and how did you overcome this? What kept the machine running smoothly?
Yeah, we had a project that we were in our due diligence phase. We had it under contract, put a deposit down on it, and we started doing our investigations into the soil and to the ground conditions. And the testing came back that there was groundwater contamination, and it's something that you would have never guessed, just looking at the site. But as you go through this process, that's always a risk. So what is the plan B? Well, we kind of ran the scenarios. Do we take it through and remediation? It was going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was going to take 2 to 3 years just to get a risk assessment and to get the ministry's sign off on it. And we decided, this is probably not worth the time and effort. And we ended up pulling back from that project. In another example, we've got a 52 unit stacked townhouse development. This one we're going to be breaking ground on in the spring. We just ran into an issue where the design of our firewall was actually conflicting with the design of the roof at one particular location. We had a hip roof, but the firewall has to extend about 6 inches above that hip roof. Meanwhile, the roof was coming down, and the eaves would be conflicting with that firewall. So that required us to do a very quick tweak of the design. Instead of going a hip roof, we did a flat roof with a parapet, able to hide the firewall inside the parapet. It changes the aesthetic of the building a little bit, but it kind of addresses the building code issue. It has a minimal impact on the budget, and ultimately we don't have to completely redesign the building. So there's a couple of examples. One where a big change actually means we have to walk away, versus a smaller change, which, a little bit of experience and being adaptable and knowing what to do in those situations kind of helped us resolve it.
That's awesome. Uh, what's the next real big goal for you?
Yeah, we're trying to scale up our operations. So while we're not doing large, like 300 unit projects, we would rather do more smaller projects.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
With the end goal of getting a number of sites together and putting them into a fund so that we don't have to be raising for each project individually. And that way we can take the designs and the specifications, standardize them across each of these projects, have greater control over our supply chains, negotiate better material costs and labor costs with our preferred contractors and suppliers, and really be able to pump out these units at a faster rate. Our whole model is to try and build high quality, sustainable, durable living units for local communities, and to do that faster than any other developer can do it themselves. And that ties in with our ability to do both the development side and the design work in-house and streamline that pathway to approvals and through construction.
Yeah, beautiful. We need more of this for sure.
Yeah. So one strategy we're also kind of leaning into heavily right now, if you're aware, there's been a lot of movement towards a modular or prefab manufacturing process. So rather than building the building on site where you need lots of room for staging, you've got materials that you have to bring on, subtrates working on top of each other. You're subjected to weather delays, poor working conditions. We're taking that off the table, moving it all inside a factory. And this has the added benefit that, each of the units comes pre-approved, which eliminates a big risk or time delay rather for site inspections. Almost like you're building a fridge. Your Samsung plant is putting the fridge together and then stamping it that fridge has been reviewed, passes all inspections and good to go. And then they manufacture those in bulk. We want to do the same thing with buildings. We want to manufacture them in bulk so that we can essentially cut time on site down by half, which is a big savings on your carrying costs, big improvement on your quality of construction, and investors get their money back in half the time, which is a huge win for the investors as well. So that's a technology we're going to be implementing on a 6-story apartment building that we're constructing in Ottawa. That one's going to be breaking ground in the fall. And we're working with a manufacturer. They'll be able to produce 2 units per day and install them at roughly the same rate.
Wow. Keeping the quality of course is important, right? Well, I know a lot of people that are listening are either earlier in their journey or looking to level up, and I think they'd really benefit from hearing all of this. You have such expertise in what you're actually doing. So, when it comes to building relationships, peer groups, growing your network, what's made the biggest difference for you?
The biggest difference is working with like-minded people, going to where they're going to meetups, mastermind events, giving presentations, various investor organizations and clubs. That's where we've generated the most meaningful connections. Another advantage that we have with the architecture firm is we do work with outside clients. So a lot of other people trying to do what we do, we bring our our expertise and our experience as developers and designers together to help advance their projects. And often in turn that results in them looking to collaborate, work as a team to help build more housing. So that's been really beneficial. Certainly has advanced things quite well for us. We're also active on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. We do host like monthly webinars, just looking to provide value to other investors. Again, imparting the wisdom of our development experience and design experience. So yeah, those efforts are a great way for us to grow our network and just meet more people.
Amazing. Yes, relationships are everything in this space, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Well, you started to touch on it a bit of how we can find you. So before we wrap up, if someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, maybe collaborate or learn more about what you're doing, what is the best way for them to reach out to you?
Sure. Check out our website, biosisrealestate.com, BIOSIS realestate.com. Or you can check out our architecture firm, biosisdesigns.com. We're primarily focusing on Canadian markets, but design is pretty universal. If you've got questions on construction, on approval process, yeah, feel free to reach out. Happy to be a resource.
Is there anything that you'd like to add about Biosis Real Estate before wrapping up, or do you feel like we covered a good portion of everything?
Um, I feel like we covered a good amount. Yeah, not sure what else I would add.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Thank you for sharing all of your expertise. And I appreciate your time and your story, your perspective. We definitely need more people in this space who are doing it the right way, helping out with the housing crisis. And thanks again for being here. For those of
My
you
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. For those of you turning in, if you have any value from this, make sure you're subscribed. We've got more conversations coming with operators just like Samuel Herschorn, who are out there building real businesses, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.